The Cold War, a time of tension, paranoia, and a relentless race for dominance between superpowers. The world was on edge, with every move scrutinized and every action questioned. It was against this backdrop, shrouded in secrecy and suspicion, that the Central Intelligence Agency, or CIA, embarked on a sinister program, MK-Ultra. This program would push the boundaries of ethics and human decency. Born in the shadows, MK-Ultra represented a terrifying foray into the world of mind control, a quest to unlock and weaponize the human psyche. The experiments conducted were as secretive as they were horrifying. The year was 1953, a time when the fear of communism was at its peak, and the desire to stay ahead in the arms race was paramount. The world watched as the United States and the Soviet Union engaged in a dangerous game of espionage. Spies lurked in every corner, and secrets were the most valuable currency. Fear was rampant, suspicion was the norm, and the CIA, driven by a desperate need to gain an edge, ventured into uncharted territory. They were willing to explore the darkest corners of the human mind. They sought a way to control the enemy, to extract information, to dominate the very essence of human thought. The methods they used were extreme, often crossing the line into the inhumane. This marked the beginning of MK-Ultra, a top-secret program so audacious, so morally reprehensible that its full scope remains shrouded in mystery even today. The true extent of the experiments and their impact is still not fully known. The CIA aimed to create the perfect weapon, a mind under their complete control, capable of acting without conscience or free will. They envisioned soldiers and spies who could be programmed to follow orders without question. The very essence of humanity was at stake. The experiments left many participants scarred, both mentally and physically, with some never fully recovering from the trauma. Fueled by Cold War paranoia, MK-Ultra would spiral into a dark chapter of American history, leaving behind a legacy of trauma, unanswered questions, and a chilling reminder of the potential for human cruelty in the pursuit of power. The echoes of MK-Ultra still resonate today, a stark warning of the dangers of unchecked authority. The driving force behind MK-Ultra was the relentless pursuit of control, a quest that knew no ethical boundaries. The CIA, obsessed with the idea of breaking the enemy, sought to weaponize the human mind, turning it into a battlefield of psychological warfare. They aimed to transform the mind from an instrument of individual will into a tool for manipulation and domination, a chilling concept that blurred the lines between science and torture. Their objectives were clear, their methods chillingly inhumane, often involving experiments that would be considered unethical by any standard. First and foremost, the CIA sought to achieve mind control, a goal that drove them to explore the darkest corners of human psychology. They envisioned a world where they could implant thoughts, manipulate emotions, and direct actions at will, effectively creating human puppets. The idea of a human being reduced to a puppet, their every move dictated by an unseen force, was a terrifying prospect that fueled their relentless experiments, pushing the boundaries of morality. Interrogation techniques also played a central role in the MK-Ultra program as the CIA sought to refine methods of breaking down human resistance. The CIA aimed to develop methods that would break down resistance, extract information, and leave their subjects vulnerable to suggestion, effectively turning them into compliant tools. Traditional methods of interrogation were deemed insufficient. They sought to shatter the very core of a person's being, leaving them malleable and compliant, a mere shadow of their former selves. Finally, the spectre of psychological warfare loomed large, casting a dark shadow over the entire program. MK-Ultra researchers explored the potential of using drugs, hypnosis, and other psychological techniques to manipulate entire populations, a chilling thought that extended beyond individual control. The goal was to sow discord, undermine governments, and control the masses through subtle yet powerful manipulation, a strategy that threatened the very fabric of society. The true horror of MK-Ultra lay not only in its objectives, but also in the methods employed to achieve them. This covert operation, shrouded in secrecy, aimed to explore the boundaries of human endurance and the malleability of the human mind. Countless individuals, many of whom were unwitting participants, were subjected to a battery of cruel and inhumane experiments that left them physically and psychologically scarred. These experiments were often conducted in the name of national security, but the human cost was immeasurable. The CIA, operating under a veil of secrecy, showed a callous disregard for human life and dignity. Their actions were driven by a relentless pursuit of control and power, often at the expense of basic human rights. One of the most notorious aspects of MK Ultra was the widespread use of LSD and other psychoactive drugs. These substances were administered in various dosages and combinations, often with little regard for the well-being of the subjects. Subjects, ranging from mental patients and prisoners to unsuspecting members of the public, were dosed with these powerful substances, often without their knowledge or consent. The effects were unpredictable and frequently devastating, leading to long-term psychological damage. The CIA sought to understand the mind-altering effects of these drugs, hoping to harness their power for mind control and interrogation. They believed that by manipulating the mind, they could extract secrets and control behavior. Hypnosis was another tool in the CIA's arsenal. They experimented with various techniques to induce trance-like states, aiming to make subjects more susceptible to suggestion and control. Subjects were placed in trance-like states and bombarded with suggestions, often of a bizarre and disturbing nature. These sessions were designed to break down the individual's resistance and implant new, often false, memories. The goal was to implant false memories, alter personalities, and break down resistance. The psychological toll on the subjects was immense, leaving many with fragmented identities and a shattered sense of self. These experiments left many with lasting psychological trauma, plagued by fragmented memories and an inability to distinguish reality from the nightmares implanted in their minds. The scars left by these experiments were deep and often irreversible. The depths of the CIA's depravity knew no bounds. Their relentless pursuit of control led them to cross ethical lines repeatedly with little regard for the consequences. Sensory deprivation, a technique designed to disorient and break down the human psyche, was employed with chilling effectiveness. Subjects were isolated in dark, soundproof chambers cut off from all sensory input. Subjects were confined to dark, soundproof chambers for days on end, deprived of all sensory input. This extreme isolation led to severe psychological distress, often resulting in hallucinations and a complete breakdown of the individual's sense of reality. The resulting psychological torment often led to hallucinations, paranoia, and a complete loss of self. The long-term effects of these experiments were profound, leaving many unable to reintegrate into society. In the aftermath of MK Ultra, many sought justice. Victims and their families demanded accountability for the suffering they endured. Lawsuits were filed and investigations were launched. Yet the path to justice was fraught with challenges. The secrecy surrounding the project made it difficult to uncover the full extent of the abuses. Many documents had been destroyed, and key figures were either uncooperative or had passed away. Despite these obstacles, some victims did receive compensation, but for many, the damage was irreversible. The legal battles highlighted the tension between national security and individual rights. Was justice truly served, or was it a mere semblance of accountability? The legacy of MK Ultra still reverberates today. Its revelations have fueled a deep-seated mistrust in government institutions. The ethical breaches committed under the guise of national security serve as a stark reminder of the potential for abuse of power. Even now, questions linger about the full scope of the project and whether similar activities continue in secrecy. The shadow of MK Ultra serves as a cautionary tale, urging vigilance and accountability in the pursuit of scientific and governmental endeavors. The story of MK Ultra is not just a chapter in history, it's a warning for the future. As the decades have passed, the story of MK Ultra has become a magnet for conspiracy theories and public fascination. People are captivated by the idea that such a covert operation could have taken place right under their noses. The secrecy, the experiments, the unknowns, all of it fuels a sense of intrigue that persists to this day. Despite the declassification of many documents, numerous questions about MK Ultra still linger. What other secrets might still be hidden? How many lives were affected in ways we may never fully understand? The full scope of the program may never be known, leaving us with an enduring sense of mystery. MK Ultra serves as a stark reminder of the potential for abuse when power goes unchecked. It underscores the necessity of transparency and accountability within governmental agencies. This dark chapter in history continues to warn us about the dangers of compromising ethical standards in the name of national security. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the shadowy world of MK Ultra. We hope this exploration has shed light on the complexities and ethical dilemmas of this controversial program. Stay curious, stay informed, and until next time, take care.